and welcome to the Rest is Football with Micah Richards, Alan Shearer and me, Gary Lineker. A few things to discuss on today's pod, perhaps a little bit of transfer activity and a little bit of a follow-up, I think, on the Champions League final, because we've not had the pleasure of hearing about your trip, Micah. And firstly, I want to say, you're not going to do a podcast with Tom Cruise and the boy Brady as well, are you? Rather than
well,
I mean, you are mixing in high circles.
Isn't he the big hitters? Big hitters.
I'm in a different caliber now, guys. I mean, I've got Premier League legends and greats and football, but we're talking about a different level here, guys. You know what I mean?
Can I ask you one question before we start? Have you got yourself a part in the next Mission Impossible?
To be honest, I don't think I do, though. To be honest, he gave me a little role play to do, and I actually nailed it. But it basically looked like I was sleeping. So unless he wants me to go to sleep in his next film, I don't think I will get in a part.
He's got more chance of getting impossible. Never mind Mission Impossible.
Oh, so let me take you back.
Yes,
Let me take you way back. So for those who don't know, I don't like flying, do I? So me, the absolute idiot, decides to look at a route from Harrogate all the way to Munich. And I thought, okay, if I get to London, it's not going to be too bad. So I get a train from Harrogate to London, which is 2.5 hours, or 3 hours door to door. Then I get the train from London, and it was supposed to be Frankfurt or Brussels first. It got cancelled. So now I'm sweating, thinking, what could I possibly do? I looked at, I'm scrambling on my app. I went from London, then to Paris. Then I had to wait a couple hours. Paris, then to Stuttgart. Had to wait a couple hours. Then Stuttgart to Munich. And when I got there, I was absolutely exhausted. But you know, Big Meeks, everyone needs Big Meeks energy. We got there. The sun is shining. Oh, I thought, let me go throw on some threads. You know how we do. And I was drinking till about 4 o'clock in the morning on the Thursday night. So Thursday night, that was my travel. Then Friday night, CBS are only throwing me my own party, Big Meeks' party on the Friday night. Bear in mind, we've got the Champions League on the Saturday night, and I've been hanging for weeks before that as well.
Let me get this clear. They've thrown you a party. It's not a farewell party, was it? They're bombing you out.
I was going to say, are you leaving?
I hope not. So on the Friday night, think about it. Imagine us at the Beam throwing a party before the night before, like the FA Cup final or the World Cup final. It would never, ever happen. CBS just embrace it. So I got that thinking, it's just a CBS party. I get there, the big, massive flyer, it says Big Meeks' party. And the thing is about it, there's people in the CBS's camp who have not invited. So on the night, I get about 6 texts saying, oh, am I not good enough for your party? I didn't even know about the party. Till I got to the party, honest to God. It was madness.
So what was your party for then?
Well, it was a CBS party, and all the big staff come over from America and whatnot. And yeah, it was just a party to say well done for everyone. But I don't know why we did it on the Friday night and not the Saturday night.
I didn't know you were scared of flying.
Yeah, I don't like flying.
No, I didn't know either.
Honestly, any chance I can avoid, I will not do it.
You would have loved what I did last week. I went up in a tiger moth last week.
You know what? Oh, them little...
The little ones where the propeller, I went up there, it's a 2-seater. You're out in there's no roof on or anything like that. You've got the helmet on old fashioned, and you've got obviously a pilot in behind you who's controlling everything. So there's 2 of us in the Tiger Moth, and it's up the northeast coastline. And honestly, you've got this guy at the front with a propeller pulling it round to get it started. And he was trying. He must have tried 12 times, and he went, I think there's a problem with the spark plug. And I'm thinking, honestly, I'm thinking, lads, you've got 2 minutes to get this fucking thing started, or it's not meant to be. Anyway, after the next one, and he pulled around and it went, and it started going around, and off we went in the tiger moth all up the northeast coast, all up. It was absolutely amazing. But then we were coming into land, and we hit a little thing, and we come down like, I'm not kidding you, I actually nearly shit myself.
No.
It was that bad. I nearly did a Lineker in the tiger moth, what he did on the pitch. I was petrified, but it was an amazing experience. It was incredible.
Can I ask one question,
Yeah.
Alan? When are you going to take your helmet off?
I love it.
At some point, we might talk about some football.
I know.
The game was something, wasn't it? I mean, what a performance, Micah?
You know, we talked about all the tactics and all that sort of thing, and I give PSG the edge, but I thought they'd win it by maybe a goal or two. But PSG, seeing them live and seeing the energy that they have was just ridiculous. The two fullbacks, Hakimi and Nuno Mendes, wow. And I know, guys, you said earlier on, you really like the look of that Nuno Mendes, but watching it live and watching it on TV is completely two different things. They don't stop running. Yeah. They actually don't stop running. The midfield control the game, and then Doué, you know, we thought, would it be Barcola who starts or would it be Doué who starts? But in that game, it was just sensational. The atmosphere was electric. You know, I went to Paris, didn't I, for the semis, and the fans were amazing that day. But on the Champions League final, they just took it to a new level. Even you got a shot of me, I think it was Carragher and I Show Speed on the just for about 10 minutes up and down. They were brilliant, and the best team deserved to win by miles. It was like boys versus men out there.
How much fun was it being touchline at the end? And
yeah, it was amazing, but we didn't quite get Doué because, you know, when the fans ran onto the pitch, then the players had to go back in and then had to come back out, and then you know what it's like with all the scheduled interviews and all that sort of stuff. But Thierry coached him at the Olympics, so that would have been a really nice interview for us. And then we missed Enrique. We got Dembele, which was really nice. We got the president at PSG, which was really good. We got the UFC fighter. I always forget how to pronounce his name.
It's the hard one.
Yeah. So I don't want to disrespect his name. Everyone knows what I'm talking about anyway. He's one of the best UFC. I don't want to disrespect him. I don't want him at my doorstep. So I'll get John to get the pronunciation so we can say it for after. But yeah, it was just a really fantastic moment. Munich, the stadium, is great. I mean, my memories at Munich are not very good because I lost every time I was there, apart from when I got injured, and then they went on and won the game. But the way it was set up from start to finish was immaculate. Like, they really know how to put on a show, do Germany. It was from start to finish, the efficiency, the organization, the day, it was just magnificent.
Yeah. Fantastic stuff. And I suppose, were you actually watching the game with Tom Cruise and Brady there? I was trying to work it. I saw some clips and I saw that Tom Cruise giving you an acting lesson on how to look sad, wasn't it? You just dip your head a little bit. And were they actually with you pitch? They weren't pitch side, were they? They were up in the stand, presumably.
So how it was really good setup, and CBS deserves so.
It's David Beckham's little
watch
show,
along.
Isn't it?
Do you remember the watch along that they did for the semis? Was doing it for the final as well. So we had our position sort of in the corner. Then they had their position a little bit higher up so you could see the whole game, just sort of above the goal, but a bit further up. And so we did the pre-game, which was 2 hours, had some really good fun on that. I Show Speed was really good as well. That's the streamer, YouTuber guy we've mentioned before.
Is that the one who barked?
Yeah, but he's actually really intelligent, you know? For someone at 20, I just thought he's a kid who everyone loves because he has a bit of banter, but he actually knows what he's doing. He knows how to maximize the best possible moment from the content that he's producing. So he's really intelligent. So then we had him going to the show, then you got David Beckham, you got, Thierry Henry, and then Tom Cruise up in the studio. So as soon as the game was happening, Thierry had to go up after 7 minutes. And then they didn't want me and Jamie to go because me and Jamie on CBS, we could be a little bit too much, a bit over the top.
You would have brought it down, wouldn't you?
You don't
Down
say.
a peg or two.
So they brought in Thierry for his brains and, his tactical nous. And then we got a call in our ears. Right, boys, it's time. You're going to meet Tom Cruise. So we're sprinting up there, going to meet him. But then we have to get our mics and take our old mics and all that. And then we go in there and it's like, it was like like the cinema, but you're at the game. So the whole window is a view of the game. Then you've just got Thierry Henry, Kate Abdo, who's hosting it, and then you've got Beckham, and then you've just got Tom Cruise. And I walk in there, all cool, don't I? Thinking I'm cool, mixing it with the big boys and all that sort of stuff. But I was actually like, I wouldn't say I was starstruck because it's a little bit over the top stuff, but I was like, I'm in the presence of greatness right now, So then he asked a few questions and whatnot, and we had the guy Richie in the semis, didn't he? And he's not called me yet, talking about wanting to be in one of his films. So I said, Tom, what can I do basically to get in one of your films? He said, let's do some acting. And then that's when he said about the looking sad. So I did it. He said, do this. Put your head down a little bit. Lower your eyes. Chin down. And I nailed it. I nailed it,
You've
guys.
got me, Mike. I'm starting to cry. I'm starting to cry, Mike. It's so real.
You can't do sad. You're the happiest man in the world.
Exactly. He's trying to take me out of my natural habitat. I said, you can't do that to me. But yeah, it was a surreal moment. And I've got to give, hats off to CBS in terms of when it went over there, they had the party, they got massive names to come and do it. It was a success. And then afterwards, the whole 3-4 days was just amazing experience. And like Tom Cruise, everyone's like, what's he like and all that? But he's like the nicest guy. And he's not going to be horrible, let's be honest. If he got there and he's going to have fun at a football game, he's not going to be horrible. But he actually knew my name. And of course, someone just given me a document before he's got on there. That's his name, that's his name. And that's his name. But the feeling of being in the same room with him and him just being a normal person, it was a really nice experience.
Right, fuck the niceties. What was the party like afterwards? Come on. All the big hitters at a party. It must have been amazing.
No, the big hitters weren't in the party.
Really?
There was in and out quicker than you could say. Oh, well, I'm not going to use the word. I was gonna. But yeah, I don't know how they got in, but they was there on the day, and they had to leave. And then actually Tom Brady come up, but I wasn't in that part. Tom Brady, Odell Beckham came in as well, or went in. I know Gary's a stickler for English, so they went in. They didn't came because I wasn't there. They didn't come to me. They went in, didn't they, guys?
Hang on. Let me you're just dropping some names. I'm just picking all these fucking names up. Any more big hitters? He's like dropping them like, isn't he? Hang on a minute, and Tom Brady came in, and we did Guy Ritchie, and Tom Cruise gave me an acting lesson. Who the hell do you think you are?
Hey, what did I say? I'm going to take you guys places.
And how did you get back?
Oh my gosh.
Rain again?
It was the worst thing as well. So on the night of coming back...
Did Tom not lend you his plane?
Unfortunately not, Alan. He didn't, no.
You made an impression on him then?
So you know what? After the Champions League, you just want to get home as quick as possible, don't you? We've spoke my dad about my dad not being well, and then we had Ballers League to think about. How can I go to Ballers League? It's the last one. We want to see the new players before the semis and final next week. So I booked my train like an idiot for 6:47 in the morning because I just wanted to get back. And then I went from Munich to Frankfurt, had to wait a couple hours, Frankfurt to Brussels, wait a couple hours, Brussels to London. When I got back, I must have slept a good 14 hours. I've not been in any of the group. I've been looking at messages in one night. I'm just putting the phone down.
We were worried about you, Mike. We thought you'd blown us out for Tom Cruise.
And then the idiot in me decides to go to Ballers League, and I just can't help myself. I went to Ballers League on Monday, and then I'm up until 5 o'clock in the morning, knowing full well Like, I've got to get a train back to Harrogate. I got back to Harrogate yesterday, and I've basically just woken up.
You've had a heavy couple of weeks.
So I've left out some details as well. I'll give you the PG sign.
Thank heavens for that. Let's talk a bit about the transfer window. There's been quite a lot of activity early, which is a little bit unusual. Liverpool seem to be planning well. You've got Manchester City. They've just announced that Reinders is coming from Milan. Chelsea have made a move, haven't they? Delap,
yeah.
which I think is a really interesting signing. Manchester United looks like Mbumo might be going there. So there's quite a bit going on.
I think in an ideal world, from a club, you'd like to get it done as quick as possible. I know you can do it in the next few days, and then there's a period again where you can't, and then it opens again, doesn't it? I think from a manager's point of view or a club's point of view, in an ideal world, and I know we don't live in one, but they would like to get all their business done as quick as possible. The manager can have his holiday, and then they can plan and prepare for pre-season. So it doesn't surprise me that there's a few getting in early doors and getting their signings done.
Agreed. I think as well, don't forget, sometimes there's Euros or World Cups, and people want to see that tournament first, don't they? And then get the players after. But I like to see it. I really like to see it. If Man U do get Burma, he's a really good player. Cunha is it's just where they're going to play it in Burma. He could play one of the 10s, but he could also play wing back. He actually has played wing back before, but it looks exciting, and I'm glad it's been doing early. I hate when they have to wait. And I think now everyone wants the players in, especially a club like Man United with this new system. And obviously they're still trying to learn what it is. The earlier you can get everyone in, soon as pre-season starts, everyone's ready to go.
And they can work out exactly how they want to play. I thought the interesting thing was, as well, is definitely worthy of a mention, is that Bruno Fernandes has apparently turned down a possible move to Saudi. And it looked like a hell of a lot of money, as you might expect. So credit to Bruno, but I think he's the one player that stood out in Manchester United's season, and that's always a good sign if you've got a player that's still performing when the team's really struggling. And I think probably a real boost for Amorim as well, to make that happen. And it's nice to see a footballer doing that sort of thing. And I think I would imagine, I can't speak for Manchester United fans, but I would imagine that they must be, they'll feel that loyalty is something very special, won't they?
No, there's no doubt. Yeah, I mean, he was without doubt their best player last year. It would have been a lot worse if it wasn't for him, because he came to the rescue so many times. I don't know the ins and outs, whether they wanted it because of the finance, whether they wanted him. I don't know, but I think it is pretty refreshing that he has decided to say no and stay at Manchester United. I think it's huge for them. Yeah,
it's not done in terms of what Fernandes wants to do for Man United. He cannot let his legacy be the season that's just happened. Like you said, guys, he's got more to offer. He knows that the club and the manager, look, for as much stick as Amorim's had, don't forget it coming part way through the season.
Yeah, which is
very difficult for any manager. Now he's going to have a pre-season. He's going to have the players that he wants. Fernandes knows he's going to be playing with people who are going to help him a lot more than he's had, especially last season. So he can still go to Saudi in a couple of years, kind of. Yes, the fee might not be the same, but in terms of what he's got, he's still a top player. It's too early to go for me.
I think it's a really interesting summer for Manchester United. Not only who they bring in, but who they get out as well. Clearly, they've got to get 4, 5, 6 out, haven't they?
Which is not always
easy. Particularly if they're on huge salary. I mean, Sancho's another one now that Chelsea have decided that they don't want him, so he has to go back to Man United. So that's probably another one that they'll have to somehow sell or try and recoup some money for him, as well as 5 or 6 others, I guess.
Yeah, I saw the quote by actually Bruno Fernandes. It was pretty much along the lines of, I was told Manchester United don't need the money, so therefore it became a decision for him. He said, I spoke to Ruben Amorim and he says he really wants me to stay and be part of it. So I think that's probably there's a bit of good news finally for Manchester United fans coming out of that club, and it really will be interesting once he does get a few of his players that he's brought in place to see how his system works and whether he can be. I mean, the one thing for sure, it can't be any worse than that
No,
season.
it's exactly.
Elsewhere, Delap to Chelsea, interesting one. I thought maybe Arsenal would go for him. Perhaps they did. I don't know, but Chelsea have got their man. We said, didn't we, many times this season that also Chelsea needed backup for Jackson at top or an alternative. And I think he's a young, exciting centre forward. I saw someone, I can't remember who it was, said they saw a bit of a young Alan Shearer in him.
I like him as well. I think
Shearer with a full head of hair.
with a full head of hair, definitely. Yeah.
Well, you did at that age.
I did. Yeah, I
Did
get
you see
that.
that before you go out? Did you see Alan's face there? A young Alan Shearer. He's sort of just like, yeah, I like him, but don't be comparing him to young Alan Shearer.
I never said that. Someone else might have
Your
said that.
face
Yeah.
said everything, Alan.
Oh, well, I do like him. I think even for 30 million, I think it's a no-brainer. I think Chelsea have got a great deal. And I mean, I gather there were other big clubs in for him. So for Chelsea to get him at that price, for me, very, very good business because he's only going to get better.
I think that's the only thing that Chelsea were missing. Really. I mean, I think Jackson's got something in him, but his finishing's not as good as it could be. And if Delap does realise his full potential, I think that might just be the missing ingredient. We'll see.
I think they need a keeper as well.
Yeah. What do you guys, when you say young Alan Shearer, don't forget he was at City, Delap, wasn't he? And I've known his game for a while. He's really good at running in behind. He can hold the ball. He can finish as well. He's got composure. Obviously, he was up against top players at Man City, so it's always going to be difficult for him. But what do you think he has that could be the difference for Chelsea this season? You know, when you're watching strikers, when you guys talk about strikers and the way you play and all the movements, like, you guys can spot things that a lot of other people don't really notice.
I think he's a bit old-fashioned. He's like a throwback from a centre forward was maybe 20, 30 years ago, where they were all in fashion. You know, it's like aggressive, horrible to play against. Doesn't mind mixing it up. Can run in behind, and obviously scores goals. I mean, the number of goals he scored in a really struggling team, that is only going to get better. And I think at his age, his ability he's got now. Yeah, I think he's got a really bright future, and I like him. I would have liked to have seen Newcastle get him, but for whatever reason, he's decided to go to Chelsea, and I think that's a really smart move for them.
Yeah, I'd back up what Alan said there. What I see in him, I see movement, which is intelligent. And I see someone that's not scared. I mean, I know that sounds ridiculous, but for a centre forward, but I judge it when he goes one-on-one with a keeper. I think he'll finish, he'll score. And certain players, you get that. And now he's got to prove it at a bigger club. I mean, I know he said he was at City, but he didn't really feature much there. And he has done at Ipswich. Now he's got to step into the limelight. It's, big club, Chelsea. Won a trophy, of course, this season as well. So he'll go into this season with a very good side. But he'll have to deal with pressure. But he strikes me. I think you get a feeling that it's not going to faze him. And he's a very, very good finisher. And that's the most important thing. And is having a cool head in those circumstances. And I think Chelsea have got a good. You can never be sure. Obviously. But I've obviously been singing his praises for quite a long time.
Can I just ask you one more question? I know we've talked a lot about pressure. So we've talked about pressure with Man United, what it's like playing for the club and all that. Put that to the side a minute, but to go from a very good player, then someone who can do it, like you said, Gaz, at a big club, what is the mindset? Is that just playing your own game in terms of treat it like it's any other game, or do you have to do something different to be able to perform at a bigger club?
You don't need to do anything different. I actually think it's in your makeup. I don't think it's something, the mental side of the game. I think you can improve it and you can help it, but I think you've got to have it. You've got to have that. It's a couple of things, really. It's drive and desire. to be successful and score goals, and then have the mental capacity to deal with the outside noise and pressure. I mean, Alan, I don't think was ever phased by anything, and I don't think I was. And I think they were probably our strongest attributes. I mean, obviously you've got to have technical ability and be able to finish and stuff like that. But the mental strength for a centre forward at a big club, you've either got it or you haven't. And I don't think you can improve it slightly with probably, perhaps getting a little bit of outside help. But honestly, I don't think it makes that much difference. I think you've either got cojones or you've not
Yeah.
in front of goal.
Yeah,
Agreed, Alan?
I agree. Yeah, and I think without knowing him, never met him, but I just look at him and I think he's got what that he takes. He's got that attitude, where he believes he belongs at a bigger club and in the big league and can do it, and he strikes me as having that. So yeah, I think he's got a big future.
Yeah. Liverpool seem to have got their plans in pretty early. Frimpong's been announced. Kirk is still heavily rumoured. Florian Wirtz looks like that will happen. I mean, Wirtz we've been talking about him almost since the start of our podcast nearly 2 years ago.
120 odd million.
Yeah, it's worth it.
A lot. It's not done yet, is it? I think there's obviously going to be a little bit of negotiating still to be done. But if it happens,
is he that good, Micah?
Is exceptional. Obviously, he's got to do it in a league which is more physical. That is my only doubt. Tactically he's got it. Technically he's got it. The way he manipulates the ball, he was a superstar from a young age, so he can deal with pressure. It's just, where does he fit into the system? Is he going to play him in Szoboszlai's role, or is he going to play him out on the left-hand side? Because he can do both. And honestly, Al, it's 420 million is worth every single.
Yeah, I've seen him. I've seen him quite a bit this season with Champions League, and there's no doubt he's a really, really talented player. It's a hell of a lot of money, but yeah, I think he'll be a success. I would say this the same in terms of the physical side of things, but with technical ability and all of that, then yeah, he's a very, very good player.
Liverpool have also been linked with Ekitike, who's a striker and who looks like he's got a lot of talent as well. And they're another one of quite a few teams in the Premier League who do need a 9.
Liverpool look like they're doing the business really well. In terms of Ekitike, I've spoke to Thierry about him a lot, and he says he's a really not frustrating player, but 1 minute he looks amazing, and then the next minute he doesn't really do the basics very well. But he said if he gets it right and he improves, his ceiling could be very, very high. And I don't know, the way Liverpool, it depends how they want to play. So you remember Liverpool when they was the best and they had Salah, Mane and Firmino. Do they want a striker who is going to stretch, or do they want a striker who is going to come to feet and interlink play? And that's the only thing. I think he's not bad on the ball, but yeah, he's more of a stretch striker really than a Firmino coming in deep and linking play. So it's like, well, where does Wirtz fit into that? Where does Szoboszlai fit into that? Where does Diaz potentially fit into that? So yeah, if they get Wirtz, I think they may be looking for more a player who can drop a little. And Diaz played a little bit deeper. He played in number 9 a lot this season. But I mean, talent-wise, he's definitely got enough to add to this Liverpool side, I would say.
What about Manchester City, Micah? They've been linked with Aït-Nouri.
Yes.
As well as what we've already mentioned.
Yeah, we mentioned Reinders from Milan. Aït-Nouri, I think he's been amazing for years now. I've said it on the ball. On the ball, he's really good. He can open up defensive just with his skill on his own at times. He's not the best defensively, but he's quick enough to get back if Man City are going to get countered on. I think he would add something really special to that side in terms of open up spaces. Obviously, Guardiola, I thought has been Man City's best player this season. He's been playing there and he's been playing centre. If John Stones is going to be back, Kanji's going to back. If Ake is going to be back, we know Diaz is. Does Guardiola move over to centre back, or does he just share the competition with Nori? But it would definitely add an attacking element to this side, without doubt.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. Very, very good player. I like him a lot. Yeah, be good business. That would be.
Not much going on at Arsenal. If we're still waiting for the. They can. If they don't, you imagine if they don't sign a centre forward in this window.
They will sign it. They will sign it. They will.
They will.
They have to.
Will.
They have to. There's no doubt.
They have to. I mean, it's evident, isn't it? They need a left winger. They need a striker, and then that's when I can talk about competing for the league, because every other position, I think, is very, very good. If not, some are competing with the best in Europe in them positions.
There's gonna be some big dough spent this summer. There really is there's no. I think you're pretty much guaranteed. It's already started. I think the money that's going to be spent this summer from clubs is going to be off the charts.
Yeah. And the other, perhaps one more talking point before we go, is that there's a lot of rumours that Ange Postecoglou might be on the way out of Tottenham. But one way or the other, the club need to address that, don't they? Because you can't really plan for next season until you know who is exactly in place at the top of the club in terms of the coaching side, surely.
Yeah, but it's pretty alarming that nothing's come out already. You've got a manager who's won a title, and there's been speculation galore, and there's been nothing from the club. That's pretty telling, isn't it?
I would have thought so, unless they've told Ange Postecoglou and that he is going to stay at the club, and so the planning continues. But you would tell people if that was the case, wouldn't you?
I think so, yeah.
You know who's been linked? Our mate Thomas Frank.
Thomas Frank, yeah. I saw that. I mean, that would be a brilliant job for Thomas. I hate talking about these things when someone's
I know
doing
it
a job,
feels like almost disrespectful.
It doesn't seem right,
it?
and I hate, but it does look like, surely they would have said a bit of a message of support if he was going to stay. It just
something, yeah. I just feel sorry for Ange, because he had his injuries. He's won his title. Maybe it's the best thing for him. Maybe he wants to go. Maybe actually.
Maybe we don't know.
He's done what he needs to do. It's been a stressful year. He did well in his first season, get him to 5th. He won a trophy in his second season. Maybe just think, you know what? Maybe right now's the time to go.
All right. Well, we'll find out, I'm sure, over the next few days. Let's call it a day there. Micah, who are you seeing this afternoon? Richard Gere, someone like that?
Oh no, we're talking top end. Have you got any other names to throw at me? I'll see who WhatsApps me later.
Brilliant stuff. Well, it's good to have you back, Micah.
Oh, cheers. I've missed you guys.
And hopefully you'll remain grounded.
Sorry I had to spend some time with us mere mortals instead of the big hitters.
Great stuff. We'll see you soon. Yeah, goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.
Goodbye from me.